Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, apparently Walmart have started selling costumes of him for Halloween, is my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Oh yeah, good evening everybody, welcome, and it's a true story, it's beautiful, $9.99 and you're obsessed.
Welcome back. New listeners and repeat offenders, thanks for joining us for another episode. It's a very haunting episode.
Oh yeah.
This week we're going to be talking about the Black Monk of Pontefract.
Yeah.
It's a legendary poltergeist haunting that occurred in the late 1960s, early 1970s in a home of Joe and Jean Pritchard. We'll be going to be looking into that a little bit later on. Apparently it was one of the most haunted, violent poltergeist accounts in Europe.
Yeah.
Looking into that. Ooh, give you a slap. That's coming up shortly in the show, as well as the NASA news and other bits and pieces as well.
Yeah,
so,
as always.
Well, worth sticking around for, as usual. Well, what have you been up to this week, Mr. Taylor?
Me just doing work, basically.
Got my glasses falling off.
Yeah, just...
Go on. You just been working?
Yeah. Gone to some football matches.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So this is part of your new job?
It is, yeah.
Going to see football matches.
It
Sounds
is,
like a pretty lavish lifestyle you're leading.
Well, yeah, up to now it has been, yeah, but it's only first week.
Oh, me, until it all kicks off.
Yeah.
You got to kind of get someone in an headlock.
Yeah, oh yeah, you got
The
to.
standard, really.
Yeah, rub the back of the head.
Give them a nugget.
Yeah, you got to give them a
Hey.
nugget. And then the Chinese burn, and then you got to kick them out.
I like it.
And you, what you been up to, out and out?
Busy. Had loads of stuff, been working, and just generally
Getting on with life.
Trying to get on with life. Yeah, so lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but it depends really how you look at it.
Well, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Other than that, Red Wall Radio, we're going to be over on there 9 o'clock on Thursdays.
We are.
So you can catch the show over there. I'll put a link in the description.
Well.
Also, thank you to all our Patreons. If you would like to join our Patreons, you can join on a number of tiers, from agent, special agent, and beyond top secret.
Oh yeah, got to be beyond.
Allows you certain benefits.
Yes, it does indeed.
Privy to only Patreons.
Yeah.
And you can join up. They'd be great. Support the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. And like I think with the Halloween season approaching, there's a lot of spookiness going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone's doing Halloween episodes.
Yeah, ain't they?
We've been doing the same, but I mean, at the end of the day, I love the paranormal stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what more can you ask for? I mean, I think poltergeists, in terms of like topics.
Yeah.
They're really kind of interesting because it's almost like, well, if it isn't a ghost, then there's something psychological going on in the house with a member of the family, or are they doing something that that even though they're doing it's not kind of like registering as a thing that they're doing. Maybe who knows? There's so much to it. We'll be going into it a bit later on in the show.
Like different dimensions. There's a whole list of what they could be.
I tell you what, though, I do want to say a big thank you to Manscaped.
Yes,
who supported us all the way through October.
They have,
and this isn't a paid promotional thing because we've done our rip.
Yeah, we have.
But we still want to say they are a great company. They're excellent if you want to if you need a new tool for your man's grooming stuff.
Definitely the first place I'll be going to.
Definitely check them out over at manscaped.com.
You will not be disappointed.
Hey, indeed.
I've been happy ever since I've had it. Give me a good
small things.
I mean,
it takes small things to make you happy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
But it is Halloween coming up.
Yeah, scary.
So don't be a wolf man.
No.
Get yourself down to manscaped.com.
Yeah.
I don't think our code works anymore. Yeah, but use NASA pod at the checkout,
and then
just in case.
Because it's worth it for the benefits.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Without a doubt. Let's hope it's still going.
I don't know what else have I been doing this week. I did watch. What's it? Been just kind of catching up on a few things, but like I did watch What They Do in the Shadows. I've been kind of catching up.
Yeah,
on
you've been right.
What We Do in the Shadows is brilliant. Yeah, I love Matt Berry. I love the whole cast of the series.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it, like obviously if you're aware of Taika Waititi's documentary or mockumentary that kind of started it off, I actually found that there was a precursor to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like almost like the third generation of the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was almost like a student film that they kind of obviously took a bit further and made the mockumentary, and then took it even further and made the series
out of it.
So it's like, if you like vampires and you like comedy, this kind of like draws on all the vampire tropes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of celebrity guests in it as well. Yeah. So anybody who's ever portrayed a vampire, like
Christopher Lee?
No, not Christopher Lee, sadly, but you've had Wesley Snipes.
Oh, right, okay.
Tilda Swinton. Do you know the guy who plays, like, he's the sort of second in command to Deacon Frost in Blade?
Yes.
He's on the Vampiric Council.
Okay.
Yeah, you've had Danny Trejo. Loads of people come on to the show, who have kind of like been high up vampires. So yeah, if you've not checked it out, What We Do in the Shadows, it's available on Disney Plus and a few other places. Fox FX, I think. So
yeah, I think
definitely check that out. So yeah, moving on with the show.
Yes.
We're going to be talking Poltergeists tonight.
Yes, evil little boss.
And specifically, the most violent poltergeist encounter in Europe and probably the UK, especially the UK. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and it's only down the road from me.
It is, isn't it? It's
Again?
in, what's it, Yorkshire, East Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Pontefract.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is a kind of like a bit of a weird kind of tale, isn't it?
Oh.
Because it's
weird and violent.
Yeah, I mean, paranormal researchers claim that the Black Monk House is the most violent poltergeist activity place in Europe.
I think so.
And it's located in Pontefract. Oh, it's West Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Do apologise to the people of Pontefract in England. Number 30 East Drive is on the the Chequerfield Estate. So has become infamous for the Black Monk.
Yeah.
See, I've got conflicting here because I've got two sources that said, one says East Yorkshire, one says West.
Yeah, because I heard East.
Yeah, I'm gonna go East.
Yeah, let's go East. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't want to be giving out.
Yeah, and we'll check it out and give you the answer next week.
This is a legendary poltergeist haunting that occurred in the late 60s, early 70s in a home of Joe and Jean Pritchard on 30 East Drive. There was disturbances allegedly began after the Pritchard family moved into the home.
Yeah, brand new home, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah,
so nobody had lived there previous. It was a new build, if you like. Yeah, because there was a lot of houses being built in the 60s.
Yeah.
After obviously World War II.
Yeah.
It was necessary to build a lot of new houses. There was a baby boom.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, there was a lot of people moving into new houses.
Builds,
and they were there like, this is going to be a new house for life.
Yeah.
So
totally.
They've moved into the house. Joe and Jean. Yeah, and they've got two kids, haven't they? Sarah and Phil.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So the disturbances started when Sarah Scholes, which I think is the grandma, isn't she?
Yeah.
Said she felt a cold gust of wind.
Yeah.
And
from
Phil, the son, who was 15 at the time, says that he saw kind of like white dust particles falling from midair.
Yeah,
in the living room.
Shoulder height, not from the ceiling, but from shoulder height downwards.
And these dust particles have kind of like just ended up like
chalk. They describe
litter in the
whole house from the
with
bottom.
This sort of like powdery, dusty, chalky stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like.
So did they get it analysed? I wonder.
No, because it dissipated. It basically
Oh, right, so it
dissipated.
cleaned itself up. That's dust that you can handle.
Yeah, that's brilliant dust. That,
It's
yeah,
like,
but
was the
it's-
60s, so it's like, was it? Can I
Well-
just ask, right? Because, I mean, like I say, this was the 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Shake and vac was pretty
yeah,
big back
they were
then.
actually, yeah.
You know, you
it
put the
was.
shaken back
Yeah.
to put the freshness back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you did, didn't you? You kind of sprinkle that shit on the floor.
Where they might have got the idea from. Yeah, that's good.
Hoovered it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Well,
so-
try to.
So, Sarah Scholes, Grandma Scholes, I think,
Yeah.
again, this is conflicting because I've seen, accounts that suggest that it was the auntie,
Yeah.
and these other people saying that it was the grandma. Yeah.
Because the auntie comes into it later on, because the auntie is a non-believer, because as time goes on, things go on, and
And then
none
she
of the
saw
family
his
would
face.
visit and stuff like that, and she
Yeah.
was a non-believer. But we'll
And
go
now
into
she's
it
a
in a bit.
believer.
Yeah. So the grandma, she was the one. She was sat there sewing when all this was happening at the time.
So she was doing a bit of crochet.
Yeah, as
She was
they did
doing a
back
bit of
then.
like, threading the needle and
Yeah.
all that. Well, I think, according to paranormal book author Colin Wilson, puddles of water started appearing in
Yeah.
the kitchen on the
Two
floor.
puddles, yeah.
They actually called professionals, plumbers.
Yeah,
Like,
councils and stuff like that in, and
nobody could explain it.
it wasn't just the kitchen either. It was also on the skirting boards and stuff like that. The water basically was appearing like from shoulder height down, I suppose you could say.
Well, apparently Miss Scholes basically and Phil ended up sleeping at a neighbour's house that night because they were so kind of terrified.
Yeah, because they'd just come back from a trip. Because when at the start of it,
Well, I
the
read
daughter and
that
the
there
mum
was
and the
a
dad-
couple of them who were away, weren't
Yeah.
they? And there was the 15-year-old left in the house with somebody,
with the
which
grandma,
was,
yeah.
I think it was the grandma.
Yeah.
So obviously this has happened. So it wasn't just the case of like a kid who's bored and he's... Maybe it was just a kid who was kind of like trying to terrorise his grandma, but...
Well,
maybe
it
the
wouldn't be
pools of
funny for
water
one.
on the floor was because she pissed herself because he's scared her so much.
The grandma.
Grandma's
went in there.
embarrassed. So it's like, I don't know, must be ectoplasm.
Well, yeah, but they've tried mopping it up, and when they've mopped it up,
He's got on his hands and knees and went, that's piss that.
yeah, a bit tangy that one.
Grandma.
But as soon as you mop it up, it comes back again. That was another weird thing about it. And it was
Right,
like,
okay.
what's going on there? And we got a flood underneath.
Got some
and
water
like,
rising there.
Yeah, but obviously the plumber and that have said there's nothing wrong with the house at all.
Fair enough. Well,
At
like I
that
say,
point.
they've gone out and stayed at a neighbour's out of fear when a
blame.
heavy chest of drawers reportedly began to sway.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
according to
Heavy,
Wilson, he basically said after that the disturbances stopped for about 2 years.
yeah. Right.
So again, it's like how is it that kind of these things happen, but only happen for brief periods of time, and then
Goes away.
and then all of a sudden it comes back, because there's a couple of hauntings and paranormal sort of cases in the States where it only seems to be like when somebody's living in the house that these kind of major activity
goes on, yeah.
and then you'll find that somebody else will move in and they'll go, wow, nothing's happened here. But then people who want to market it as like, so these are, I can't remember exactly which house it is, but there's a case where someone's now moved into it and they're kind of pimping it out as a tourist attraction of being the house out of this, linked
Was
to
it
this
the most haunted one?
haunted house.
Yeah.
And, whether it's because they want to believe it so much that kind of brings on that energy, or
add to the experience by,
or even just
it's,
kind of like you're scaring yourself because nothing's happening, but you kind of like getting hyped up on it. You find that in a lot of these sort of paranormal YouTube videos where they're investigating a house or an abandoned building or something, and it's almost like they scare themselves just by walking around, and you can see them getting hyped up.
Yeah,
so,
which you can know. This is the thing. This is like when you hear that noise downstairs and you walk and you get out of bed and you go, right, I know there's burglars down there, and you're like, you're tensing up, you're thinking thoughts, you're thinking what's going to go on, I'm going to turn this corner, someone's going to club me, or I'm going to spot someone doing this, and then you go downstairs, it's a bloody cat.
Yeah, but that's why I always feel, I never feel like it could be anything out of the ordinary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, what are the odds that I'm going to come down the stairs and it's going to be something...
2 little green men having a cup of tea and
exactly,
their crumpet.
Yeah. Like, you know, a little white rabbit saying I'm late for an important date. It's going to be...
You don't want to be late for that.
So, you know, it's one of those. It's like, it's going to be something explainable 90% of the time, but it's that 10%.
The first thing you're going to do is question yourself. Did I have drugs last night?
Now,
did I have drink last night?
There did seem to be a bit of a focus on the Pritchard's daughter, Diane.
Yeah, very much so.
She had a lot of harrowing experiences. She was thrown from a bed numerous times.
Oh, yeah.
Once she was dragged up the stairs, she says by an invisible hand.
Yeah, by a hair.
Right, so she ended up with lacerations on her neck, handprints. There was also claims that after holy water was sprinkled throughout the home, the poltergeist responded by painting upside down crosses in the living room, on the walls, the doors, and destroying crucifixes. Joe and Jean Pritchard claimed that the black cloaked figure with a cowl ended up kind of standing at the end of their bed.
Yeah.
And this is how the Black Monk sort of kind of got its name.
To have its name.
Yeah, so,
well,
you know.
It's had a number of names, this one, hasn't it?
Has it?
Really?
Go
on. Was it, the family named it Frank.
Frank,
I believe
yeah, Frank or Fred.
Yeah.
Was it Fred?
It could have been Fred. I know it began with F. And the papers called it Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody?
Yeah, Mr. Nobody,
okay.
The papers at the time.
Because was that because nobody had actually seen its face? Because the thing is that, I mean, although, you know, Jean...
Probably they didn't believe
Jean and, what was it? Jean and John or whatever they're called, like Joe and Jean, yeah. They said that they first seen it at the end of the bed looking at them, right?
Yeah.
Later on, loads of people have seen it, right? So, the whole family's seen it, like, over the course... Yeah. Even kind of like outside guests have come in and seen this figure and reported to have seen the monk. I mean, we'll go into it a bit later on because there's a load of accounts of paranormal investigators going in and getting so-called evidence that could actually relate to this. Joe and Jean Pritchard moved into the house, obviously. Didn't expect any of this.
No,
you know, Diane, who was 12 at the time, back in 1966 when it started.
Yeah.
But the same year, the family become, disturbed by the paranormal happenings as well. Do you know what I mean?
Because there was times when everything, like, there was getting noises from everywhere, and it's no doubt frightening, man.
So obviously they're getting kind of spooked out by this, all the goings on.
Yeah.
Mysterious black robe figure and all the rest of it. You know, they've said that they've seen it at the end of the bed, floating over the bed and stuff. It sounds kind of like those shadow people.
Yeah.
Do you know when they first said a black figure standing at the end of the bed?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought. And because they were saying that they didn't see its face, it just looked like a cowled, black figure.
True. Back then, I suppose, but now with more people, it's like a tourist attraction now. More people going there and taking photos and
well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because a lot of people have kind of
photographs are bringing stuff, through mirrors and stuff like that. But the damage it was doing was absolute. I mean, it even lifted a couple of people off their bed. Basically the bed come off and then was planted on the floor. They woke up with the bed on the floor.
Really?
Yeah. When they brought priests round, the priest would start to do their thing and then turn around and say no, because they're either getting abused, which literally slapped.
Yeah, but now that I was saying this earlier, because now that religion's kind of there's a lot of people who, you know, they're not super religious, they're atheist. Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, imagine like, you know, the priest come round and he's like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, do me blessings and all the rest of it. And he's like, hey, I'm an atheist ghost.
Yeah.
And he's like, well,
you can't do that to me.
The fact that you're here at all as a ghost kind of says that you're fucking wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Line,
but it's like, no, I'm an atheist.
Up.
Can't come in here with no holy water, bro.
Yeah. Oh, no. But
can't get me like that.
No. Definitely can't. But it's already done stuff like... this was weird, I thought. Thrown keys from the chimney to people's heads, and then the keys actually go to nowhere. They don't know where these keys have come from or where they go to.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, that's a bit of an oddball.
Well, there's been loads of accounts of like throwing items like marbles,
potatoes.
And
Have you heard that about the potatoes?
I did hear something about a potato.
Yeah, absolutely massacrating.
So there was another case where he was throwing like food, weren't they? Like throwing plates.
Yeah,
but with food in them and stuff like.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this kind of, in terms of violent, you know, what else did it do that? I mean, because it terrorized Diane, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She did seem to be the focus on it, and this kind of reminds me of the Enfield haunting.
Yeah,
in the sense that
girls,
it was focusing on a young girl who was kind of like
going
through
roughly.
puberty, heightened emotion, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like being kind of bullied by these spirits. So apparently there's not just one spirit in the Pontefract house. So
it could be a number.
That it's a number with a controlling spirit. Like, it's almost like fucking Captain Planet. Yeah, when it's like, that's when all our ghostly powers combine, we create Frank.
Because it does so many different things. It's in a playful mood, or it's in a terrible mood, or it does things that it wouldn't usually do. So they believe that it's
like
a
out
number.
of character, or kind. But does that not answer the question that, like, you know, so many investigators have gone in and done something and they've gone, oh, that was the ghost, and it's like, well, that's out of character for how we know it. But then it's like, it must be more than one demon, more than one ghost, all kind of playing together, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is it. I'm not poking holes. I'm just trying to, you know, think about it in a logical way.
Well, yeah, but, that's it.
You know, another incident was the police and a local MP and a vicar were all there to witness extraordinary happenings in the house. So, you know, there wasn't just kind of like the household. It was kind of officials.
Yeah,
people outside the house
yeah.
had been in. Despite numerous exorcisms, the ghost hunters attempted to in the proper end. Nothing could make the ghost leave.
No.
Paranormal investigator Tom Cunliffe spent many years researching the strange case and discovered that the town's gallows had been situated directly across the street from the house.
That's right.
Now, this is where it gets weird, right? Mm-hmm. Because obviously they've discovered that these gallows were fucking literally on their doorstep.
Roughly.
Yeah. And imagine how many people kind of got
hung
in that on that spot.
Oh, right,
basically, right? And who knows? I mean, where? So if you've got the gallows situated across the street, where was the cells? Do you know what I mean? Where were the other buildings that were situated around that site that housed the prisoners that I can guarantee you some of them died in? Yeah. And even though the gallows were the main place where people died, there would have been other buildings around it where prisoners were kept prior to or before the execution. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'd say that whole area, including their house, would have been on the site. Do you know what I mean? Where the gallows... I mean, if the gallows were across the street, then I'd say that their house was probably on that estate where that was happening.
Funny enough, the house itself is situated over the well that they supposedly thrown the monk in after he'd
Well, this is it, you see, isn't it? Because, like, the monk himself was a real guy, yeah? So, I mean, they've seen this monk, but
it's registered.
This is an actual case where there was a monk. He was a clunic monk.
Yeah.
Who was hung for rape and murder of a young girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the murdered girl would have been about a similar age to Diane. So
well, this is where, they think that
whether this monk is kind of like
still got the evil,
kind of taking his aggression out on Diane, because of that connection. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Cunliffe believed that the entire haunting of the family was the Black Monk that is talked about in that story. So the haunting of 30 East Drive has been subject to many investigations.
Yeah, and they reckon that the another reason why that it's got more power and it's more than just a monk is because
it's more than just a monk.
There's more bodies that was
monk
thrown
plus
with because it was where they threw the guilty basically after they hung them. So all the guilty was thrown in that hole, but
so they've been hung across the street and
holes.
Then fucking. So are those bodies still? I mean, I assume if they've thrown them down a well. Do you not reckon that they excavated that when they were building the houses?
Yeah, and this was the 60s.
I mean, this was the 60s.
Let's get this up.
How long ago was this site being used for a hanging? How are we going to have a hanging?
Well, God knows, to be honest.
Must have been quite a while,
but it could only fill that to a certain degree. So let's say,
before we have to move, we've filled
the well
up
full of bodies or something that. So then you got to ask where the other ones.
Wow.
And try. I mean, if you look into the past, there's going to have to be, like you said, there must have been other buildings around there, and you could work out where the other ones could be.
Definitely,
and, possibly see, but. This could be just down to because it was a monk that it's turned out this.
Well, loads of people have seen it, and it's got back in the news recently because a lot of ghost hunters have been going because you can book as a ghost hunter and go and like the guy who owns it now.
Year and a half on it though.
Yeah, has not lived in it.
No. Yeah.
For quite a while now.
Yeah, because the director bought it.
It's about 30 years, isn't it? It's just been sat there, kind of like as a place you can go, you can book as a ghost hunter to go and investigate the property. If you
don't recommend you stay the night, though.
Yeah, he basically says, if you stay the night, it's down to you. But,
they don't recommend
quite a lot of videos on YouTube of people going to investigate it, and a lot of them do get results.
Yeah.
A team of paranormal investigators claim that they snapped the clearest photo yet of the infamous phantom.
That's the one for the mirror, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Also, a team of paranormal investigators captured an eerie picture of a ghostly arm holding what looks to be rosary beads.
Oh, right.
So the paranormal investigators say the picture shows the arm of a ghostly figure in a monk's robe clutching rosary beads. There's that.
I just don't understand on the badness of like the monk. You know what I mean? Because of the religion. I'm just trying to work out what the Bible would say about
rape and murder.
Well, yeah, but not only that, because
why would it? Well, fair enough.
I mean, monk,
but but I mean, if he's a monk, and he's been he's sworn to be an oath as a monk. Do you know, like as a religious man, and then he does things like that. When he's hung for it. I mean, wouldn't that be a purgatory sort of? It's rather hell or purgatory, isn't it? You walk the earth as a ghost, or you go in hell.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking a little
because you ain't getting in heaven.
Should be like, would you hang him with the monk's clothes on? because he doesn't represent being a monk anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's not the case, is it? It's like he's just getting dragged out of the house and getting and took down whatever you're wearing.
Yeah, but then
he could have
surely
been the
you
middle
get
of
rid of the rosary beads. Like I put a bit of hair on your top. You know what I mean?
Well, I know what you're saying, but like when
he's been defrocked, hasn't he? Realistically,
totally,
and he must have been in the jail for a
where
little
that's
while
coming
before.
from. But I mean, in a spirit world, I mean, maybe it's his sort of. This is the thing, isn't it? Well, think about it this way, right? We all have a self-image, right? How you believe and feel, you look and represent.
I'm brilliant,
right? Yeah. So, if your soul's real and you're represented in a non-physical form, like an astral projection or a ghost, for instance, which is what we're talking about tonight, then would you not project yourself? Or kind of in the best possible way, So or the way that you see yourself and feel like you're represented. So if he represents himself as a monk, and that's how he's lived his life as a monk, and that's the way he's dressed.
What's the excuses of the other ones then?
What?
What's the excuse of then? You ain't dressed
this
up
is the
well.
thing, is it? Well, I don't know because it's like there's a bit of an argument to say, well, do you once you're a ghost, say if you get your head chopped off, you're like headless, almost headless Nick in Harry Potter.
Well,
you
can play bowls a bit better, can't you?
With a chopped off head for the rest of your days. But it's like
good looking round corners.
Do you look? Are you dressed in what you were wearing when the day you died? Or
I would have thought,
or
what you were buried in.
Or do you have like a self-mental projection? Do you know what I mean? How are you most comfortable? How do you see yourself in reality in terms of your mental image of yourself? Is probably what you'd project as a ghost because it's your soul.
I can't go with that.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's not about what you were wearing at the time of death. It's about how your mental, what your head's saying, right? Your inner voice,
is wrong.
Would be how you projected yourself, surely.
Yeah, but surely, that you would, let's say, like a royal, and they see a royal ghost. That the projection of that royal ghost would be wearing in their image, not necessarily the image of the ghost.
They'd be wearing like the royal.
Because, like you said, I look at you in one way. Then you look at yourself.
Yeah, totally, but that's what I'm saying.
It should be the way I'm looking at you, not the way you should be looking at me.
Why would that be the case? Because
they're looking at you. You're not looking at them. They're looking at you.
Yeah, but it's not a case of how they see you, because that's like saying, like, fucking, well, the only time I've ever seen that guy, he was dressed like a clown, right? But like to his mum, he doesn't, she's going to see her baby boy, whereas I see him as a clown because that's his job, right? But
why should the difference be in life to death?
That doesn't make any sense.
Why is the difference that
listen to me,
look at yourself in one way, you die and look at yourself one way. I look at you in one way.
But how you look at me in that respect doesn't really matter because like it's in terms of like a parallel universe sort of thing where you've got like multiple versions of yourself and how you see me and how I see myself are two different versions of me is totally different to how.
But you're only changing planes.
No, once I've died and my physical body, right, it's my soul, my sort of projection as a ghost, right? So it'd stand to reason that I would project myself in the best or the most identifying way,
Don't
possible.
Take this the wrong way, but I'd say that was big-headed.
Why would it be? No, I don't mean it as in like looking perfect. I mean as in the sense like, well, I normally wear hoodies and jeans, then that's how I would project myself in the same way that if I was a magician, I'd look like myself as a magician. Do you know what I mean? Like, or
if I was
the king, I'd be wearing my crown. If I was a monk, I'd be wearing my monk robes because that's what I wore day in day out. Yeah, but if I died in a tracksuit, I wouldn't expect to be running around as a tracksuit.
I'd see you in a tracksuit, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, there he goes again.
If the listeners out there have got something to say about that, or like kind of have got a take on it, I'd love to hear from it. But I wouldn't say that it was a big-headed thing that your soul would be projecting the sort of how you kind of see yourself or how you've been You know, how, I mean, when I say how you see yourself, I mean in like your role in life, like for in this instance, the monk. Yeah. He's
seen
lived,
himself as the
he's
monk.
lived as a monk for all of his time, right? So stands to reason to me that once he died, that's how he'd kind of project his ghost as a monk, because that's what he wore, that was his garb day to day, you know, rosary beads in hand, And even if he died wearing fucking, like I say, a tracksuit, it shouldn't matter because his inner being is showing I am still a monk.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll have to agree to disagree on that.
I don't know. I mean,
honest.
I don't know why you're disagreeing because
because it's the thing of how can you say what happens in this life
I can't
goes into the ghost.
I can't
life because
honestly, but there's an argument that's similar. There's an argument that says, like, say if I shoot you in the head and that's how you die, you've got to walk around the rest of your days with a bullet wound, So why would that be the case? Because your soul's just fucking out and about.
What about the headless horseman?
You physically, exactly, It doesn't. I don't think that makes sense. But I mean, people might argue with that, and people might disagree, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you'd think that your mental projection of yourself wouldn't be, with a bullet hole in your head.
But then you also with that, like your mental projection would
man.
go because
I died in my Y-fronts on the toilet. Shit, I've got to walk around in my Y-fronts as a ghost for the rest of my days. Can't I put a coat on?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like it's shameful.
Like Homer Simpson.
Most people die in like a nightgown.
Well,
and that's why you see a lot of white ladies, like the grey ladies or whatever, because they were all fucking like in 18th century bed gear.
Well, yeah,
like Wee Willie Winker with his nightcap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, back to the story. Mum of four, Claire. She was a ghost researcher. She went down to East Drive to a paranormal group and claims that she took a photo that definitely proves the black monk is still haunting. Like I say, she took a photo of him holding rosary beads. The 44-year-old from Pontefract said, "I've been to 30 East Drive a few times, and on this particular night, the equipment that they took had been particularly active.
Okay.
They had marbles thrown at them, and they kept hearing a tap and bangs. Then the arm you can see in the photo isn't solid; it's kind of translucent, and you also see a bit of mist. It's very strange, and then you can see a sleeve of a robe hanging down." And what looks to be rosary beads. So she also added she sent the photo to a friend in America who has, without giving any information, just basically said, check this photo out, what do you reckon? And they came back with saying that it looks like a monk.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, there you go.
I like the anti one, where the anti who does not believe...
she's an unbeliever.
Proper unbeliever. And she's like, right, I'll come round, I'll stay there tonight. Right. As soon as the door opened, like hands from nowhere come out into the air and then disappear. And then she ended up sleeping there at night. So the middle of the night, the door opens, and then all she sees is like a hairy hand at the bottom of the door, and then a hairy hand at the top of the door, and she's freaking out here because the three girls are sleeping
like that scene
in there
in Ghostbusters.
Together. Yeah.
Well, because there's a couple of things that are said that are in the incidents that kind of remind me of Ghostbusters a little bit, because there was incidents with the taps, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were kind of some green sort of slime. Was coming out of the taps, and they had to call some kind of engineers and plumbers and stuff out for that, and they couldn't work out what it was because it was so intermittent.
Yeah.
But I think, when they talk about it being the most violent, I mean, people were slapped. People were, obviously Diane was kind of like tortured a bit by it. But I mean, when you think about, like, I mean, I know I've brought this up, I mean, the Enfield hauntings, you know, he was kind of like stringing her up by the curtains and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that poltergeist wasn't exactly friendly. I mean, in terms of violent, it was enough violent.
Yeah.
You know, and for an entity that you can't see or predict, isn't that kind of scary enough? I mean, like, the idea that this one's any more violent than that, I don't know, but, like, you know...
Well, it held a lot more intelligence because with them hairy hands at the bottom and the top, she realised that, the auntie realised that it's actually gloves. And then the top one ended up coming off the door...
Yeah.
And pointing a finger and, you know...
like waving her in.
Come to me.
Come hither.
Come here. And
sounds a bit Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, it does a bit.
It does, doesn't it? It's like with the glove and the hand and all that.
It's and she also went to the kitchen not long after, and a jug of milk had come out of the fridge, went above her head and tips all over her.
Yeah, because there was a lot of cases of levitation as well, weren't the objects objects levitating, objects going missing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is quite an interesting story. I mean, like I say, if you are a ghost hunter and you've been there, you know, when you've had your own personal experience, let us know. In the comments. We'd love to hear what your personal accounts have been like. If you've got a link to a video,
pick some up.
Drop us a link.
Yeah.
Also, interested to hear what people's takes on how you project yourself as a ghost.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
We might do a poll.
We'll see.
We'll
see how, if we get enough people.
Actually, do you know what? Anchor's doing loads of bits.
All right.
You can do polls on Anchor now, like, through the podcast. So, and ask questions as well, which people can respond to.
Oh,
so we might start doing some bits like that.
We will.
But they've just announced video podcasts.
Oh, mint.
Yeah, so we might even dabble in that occasionally, because we do occasionally do it for YouTube. So, might post something.
Yeah.
For a treat. So, when we're stable. So, let us know what you guys think. It's almost Halloween. We've got one more episode, which lands pretty much on Halloween, doesn't it? Next week.
Yeah, 31st. 30th, no.
We'll have one more paranormal episode before we move back into a bit of alien and spacey stuff.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Got some great topics coming up.
Oh, definitely.
Throughout November.
Yes, as always.
Also, we've got a promo this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Promo.
I love a bit of promo. And this week's promo is Canadian Spirit podcast. Hosted by Kelly and Darcy. They do supernatural paranormal investigations research throughout Canada. They explore supernatural, paranormal, and downright weird cases throughout Canada using their skills they've honed as paranormal researchers. The podcast contains adult language and disturbing themes, so keep out of the reach of children and the elderly.
To me.
And obviously, what was a face who peed on the floor, Grandma?
Yeah.
So, Canadian Spirit, we've got a promo, and here it is.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Darcy, founder of Spirit.
And I'm Kelly, the Chief Technical Officer of Spirit.
Back in 2011, we formed the Supernatural Paranormal Investigations and Research Institute, searching for answers to mysterious things that were happening in our little corner of Canada.
And we haven't stopped searching for those answers ever since. Join us on our podcast, Canadian Spirit, as we dive into all of Canada's most famous and forgotten paranormal mysteries. Examine the evidence and try to figure out what might be behind Canada's ghosts, cryptids, and UFO encounters.
In Canadian Spirit, you'll get a peek behind the curtain and see for yourself what being a paranormal investigator is really like, and learn something about Canadian history, which isn't as boring as it sounds.
Even if it is, we're a pair of chucklefucks, so we'll do our best to make it entertaining.
So come along for the ride and discover for yourself what makes the land of maple and hockey so wonderfully weird.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, wherever you find your podcasts. And remember,
raccoons are aliens, werewolves are perverts, and ghosts are just downright rude sometimes.
Big thanks to Canadian Spirit for dropping in their promo.
Nice one, girls.
You can do the same. If you've got a podcast you'd like us to champion, then you can send us your promo to neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
Can indeed.
And if we like it, we'll play it out on the show for a couple of weeks.
Defo.
All good, isn't it?
It is.
Well, moving on with the show. We happen to have a bit of news this week, as usual. And without further ado, it's the news! Oh yeah! Back with the news.
Yes.
This week's crazy news. And do you know what? We've scoured the World Wide Web and all the news outlets to find you the week's strangest news.
Yeah.
And we haven't disappointed. Been a lot going on this week. As always, lots of natural disasters and whatnot. Probably, I don't know. There's so much going on. Do you know what I mean? There was another volcano in Japan the other day.
Gone off.
Did you not see it?
No, I don't really check the news these days. You know what I mean? Because there's so much bullshit coming out.
So there was kind of a blast.
Yeah.
This volcano's not erupted for at least 100 years.
Right, okay, so it's due then.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was kind of chilled. You know, people weren't expecting it at all, I don't think, and it just blew. But it wasn't a peak volcano. It was quite a flat sort of area.
Yeah.
So when it blew, it kind of blew this big plume of dust, and then that sort of kind of went into a blast.
Right.
Which kind of pushed it outwards, and I think it was about 100 mile around that.
Right, okay.
Radius where it kind of went out. So there was a bit of a kind of a scramble
about it,
for a lot of it. But yeah, it was quite interesting. I mean, obviously, if you check on YouTube, you can see video footage of the
actual event.
These cameras on it at the time, from the car park. And as you see this sort of grey mass of ash coming towards the car park, which the camera is 100 miles away from the blast, from the volcano itself.
Okay.
And after a couple of minutes, I mean, there's coaches and cars in the car park, and obviously it's a tourist destination or whatever. It looked like there was school trips. And everyone was just literally bailing back onto the coaches and cars and driving out because they didn't know if this cloud was going to reach him or not. But yeah, it was quite interesting. So yeah, the video is available on YouTube.
When's the next one going to happen?
Volcano Part 3.
I know.
2021.
Which island's the next one to get it?
Don't Yellowstone. Let's not. You know, I mean, it's weird that all these volcanoes and earthquakes. I mean, there was an earthquake in Greece recently as well, which was another 6.0 or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. Didn't I tell you about my mad dream? Yeah. About waking when I woke up and they were saying that there was the earth was cracking in half.
Well, there is parts of the earth that's actually cracking.
I'm thinking a texture saying I had this mad dream last night that the earth was cracking in half and there was a big entity inside it and we were a big egg.
Well, it's sort of...
And that happened, do you know what? I mean, in the by all accounts, in the Eternals movie, that is a thing.
Right.
There's something inside the earth and it's where
it's
cracking open.
Oh, it might be an egg.
Maybe it isn't global warming after all. It was big egg.
Well, it gives explanations to quite a few things.
Does it
goes
though?
on. What about the noise? The
booms.
Around the
massive
world.
Booms.
The cracks, like that massive one in Africa that opened up, and it was like, what the
big sinkholes and whatnot. Yeah,
a lot of sinkholes.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Have you seen anything in the news that you've been interested in?
Yeah. An accident.
Another one?
Yeah.
I've got
Alec
an itchy ear.
Baldwin.
I know, yeah.
This is...
wow.
This is...
Alec.
Yeah, I mean, the last time it happened, 1993?
What, when Alec Baldwin shot someone?
Well, no,
Sorry,
no.
I'm not joking.
When there was an accident on making a movie.
Yeah, we did a show where we did an episode about it.
We did.
Bruce and Brandon Lee, in The Crow.
Yeah, that's right.
Mysterious circumstances, prop guns and all that.
Yeah.
These are, I mean, when I heard about it, I was like, it was the director of photography that had been shot.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
And then I started seeing people writing on Twitter and saying, like, how is it that, the director's been shot? And I was like, well, I can kind of see it if it's a director of photography, because their job is to kind of look for the best shots. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, right, I think you can get a really good angle here. They'd be there doing the finger thing, trying to get the best sort of like in frame. Everything's in frame and sort of squared up nice or whatever, right. And then I started thinking, was it a down the barrel of the gun shot? And, you've got Alec Baldwin pointing the gun, and then you've got the director of photography, like, looking down the barrel, trying to get that shot. Yeah. Before going to the monitor to see if it looks as good in her head as it does on camera. Right. And she wanted that muzzle flash, and she was in front of it, but I mean, she should be by the monitor checking if that's good enough. I don't know.
The gun had been cleared to be used.
Well, no, what had happened was there was a dummy round put in the end of the barrel for photography. Yeah. Yeah. So when you take the photo, you can see a bullet coming out of the barrel.
That's right.
Now, they'd forgot to clear that and then put a blank in. Yeah. So, I think that's what happened in The Crow, wasn't it?
No, live ammunition.
Was it live ammunition? Yeah. So I'm not sure. I think
so. It
this
might
is the
have
case.
actually been that kind of case, but.
Well, I'm not sure if this is the case or if I'm thinking of The Crow in this instance, but I think there was a dummy round put in the front for photography reasons. Yeah. And the blank made it act like a real bullet.
Yeah. The force would have been.
How have two people been injured? I mean, this is weird, because I mean, it's like
I'd expect the end of the barrel to either blown up.
Yeah, so there was a bit of shrapnel or debris.
So the round actually come out, but also the shrapnel from the.
But that makes sense if there was something like lodged in. Yeah, because like it'll create pressure in the barrel. Yeah, which will obviously rather
could have been a bit of shit in the back.
It'll fire off that dummy round that was there for photographic purposes, because obviously your blank turns that into a real bullet, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But like you say, if there was blowout or anything like that, then that could be why the other person's injured.
Weapons do jam, and like they do have issues here and there, but
it's a bit of a sad. I mean, what's his name? Alec Baldwin was supposed to be heartbroken by the whole incident.
Yeah, he looked wrecked, man. He looked proper wrecked, and it was done in Mexico, and there's actually been reports today that a lot of people had left the place because of safety reasons.
Felt like they weren't safe on set. Yeah. I mean, it does kind of beg the question about, in realism terms, I mean, like, what's the difference between fake and dummy guns? I think, like, in nowadays, you can kind of do a lot of stuff in CGI and post-production.
But it just doesn't look the same. It just doesn't.
A lot of the time, it's lighting, isn't it? So when you get lighting off the flash from the gunfire, that you're able to kind of match that on subjects around it. Objects around it, the face of people. Do you know, like,
and the actor's got to go bang bang or something, so they know when it's.
It's gonna look kind of real. Yeah. Whereas when you use a real firearm and you've got that sort of a dummy round or whatever, you can get the noise. There was a guy on the news saying, like, obviously the benefits of it is you get a bit of a bang, which gives you a better reaction out of your actor. Yeah. You get the sort of
the actual sliding flash, back of
the recoil. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I can understand why they want to use it, because filmmakers want to be as realistic as possible. Yeah. And it's cool. At the end of the day, they feel, and it's like they want it to look as legit.
Yeah. Because I mean, war films would be a bit different if they had CGI on them. And have you seen the state of the CGI? CGI films, and it's awful. It really is.
What, CGI films? Yeah. Some of them they're getting better
with the doing of guns.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it could take time getting better, but you just like like you said, the reactions of the weapon itself and the reactions of the actor and the reactions of the people around it as well are different.
More like when you see CGI gun play, you know, like you say, it does look a bit kind of fake, and you know, they sort of hype it up because it's Hollywood, don't they? I mean, it's like, you know, the gunfires they explode louder, you know, the more impressive. Where in reality, they're not as kind of, you know,
clean cut as that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, well, they're not as kind of like as Arnold Schwarzenegger would make it out to be,
exactly.
or in, you know, action movies or
I've got
whatever.
a jam. Right now, what I've got to do here? I've got to make sure safety catch. I've got to do all these little bits and bobs. Well, I haven't cleaned it today, so that he's been firing shit.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of questions, and you know,
definitely.
people are interested to know what actually happened and why this has happened.
He has tweeted and apologised to Alec Baldwin, and like he's fully up for like the investigation, and he's come forward and, like, you know, he's giving everything.
Well, you would be, wouldn't you? Because you'd want to be like, I'd like to know why this has happened. Why have I been given a firearm and put in this position?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
You know, you'd think that, you know, everything was kind of looked into before, safety checked.
Yeah, safety. Well,
a number
like
of
after
times.
93, it had been checked, and new rules come in to do it, and it looks like now even more new rules are going to be coming in. So I think we're going to be seeing more space guns now. Then, yeah, I think that's realistically is the only other option. Use like laser.
What's his? What's it? Guy Ritchie's going to be like fucked in
Yeah,
because he's
well,
going to be like lock, stock, and two laser blasters.
Yeah, but then again, you could go to a different country and film it.
True.
I mean, a lot of film agencies like go to abroad because they can get away with certain health and safety regulations or certain.
Well, that's probably why they're in Mexico filming this, and you know, it's like, you know, when
and
it's
this
all
is all going to extend back to America.
Pete Tong.
Yeah.
So,
but sadly, she lost her life.
It's sad, isn't it?
It is.
Well, obviously, our thoughts go out to the family and friends and stuff. You know, it's kind of weird because that's like a job that I would love to have, director of photography as well. So it's like, you know, you know what, I don't understand how like that's happened for the best part, but
and then you got a question: was it?
And do you know where is it? It's like, is it that dangerous? Am I going, you know, career wise? Do they need danger money?
Well, I suppose that's why actors get so much money.
Well, it wasn't the actor who was injured in this instance. It was the people
apart
making
from
the
the directors and the big wigs. Generally, the rest of them won't get as much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll be making a wage, whereas it's like, you know, it's the actor who's making big money. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, when
should be shared out a bit more fairly and safe.
Definitely. Well, I think there's been a lot of kind of like, you know, fear of walkouts and strikes and stuff.
Well, but then is it going to bring the real weapons back on the question mark again?
Maybe.
Like it never really left, but you know, is it going to give it a bit more prominence to like getting rid of arms?
Maybe guns for toys.
Guns control. But,
guns for toy guns. Pew pew laser guns.
Yeah. Like I said, laser guns are the best option, I think, for director.
I found this story, and I reckon it's going to be the new Christmas number one. For Christmas presents for kids. I don't know, for anyone, students probably enjoy this.
Oh yeah.
We've all played rock paper scissors.
We have. Yes, we have.
This is a Kickstarter campaign that's come out. Rock paper scissors deluxe edition.
Oh right. Oh well. Where'd you get that? Gloves or something?
Well, it's a joke made real sort of thing. Yeah. So this guy on Dragon's Tomb, which is a YouTube channel.
Okay.
He specialises in satirical takes on traditional board games and rules.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Right. So he's brought out, it's a novelty gift.
Yeah.
Or a novelty parody thing.
Right.
Yeah, right. Where it's rock, paper, scissors, but you get an amethyst fucking jewel stone, yeah,
Right.
like, quartz or whatever, a lovely pair of scissors,
All right,
and
nice.
some professional, how's he put it? Professional paper.
Professional printed paper.
No, but hang on, how's he put it now?
Excellent, the best thing in the world.
You get sort of, he does say it somewhere, but you get some sort of professional sort of gaming paper.
Gaming paper.
Apparently so, yeah. So, retails for about 20 quid, right?
What?
But it's like, I just don't, apparently you can play solo rounds. Rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. Like,
you're going to have to get your mate to get so they doubled up straight away.
Because I was saying that, because you play rock, paper, scissors, and, he's the guy in the ad, he's saying, like, you won't, you'll be thinking now when you're playing it traditionally, you'll be like, oh, well.
Don't be a cheapskate. Actually get
I could be playing
paper.
the deluxe edition, that's a reason enough to buy it. And I was like, well, no, because if I'm playing rock, paper, scissors, it's one of those boom, 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 like, done. Yeah, you both got your hands.
You have to carry a cardboard
done
box
and
around with you.
dusted. Yeah, exactly. I never know when I'm going to be playing a rock, paper, scissors. It's usually just like, you want to do this? No, I don't want to do it. You do it.
I reckon
rock,
the
paper,
rich.
scissors.
I reckon the rich buy this because it's the deluxe division.
But that's
of
why
it.
he says he's the psychology behind it. Yeah, buying the deluxe version. If you put deluxe on something, you can charge an extra tenner.
Yeah. I don't want snakes and ladders.
Rock, paper, scissors doesn't even need any equipment.
No.
But you stick
Go out in the
deluxe,
backyard
stick
and get
deluxe on it, and fucking people will buy it for 20 quid a box.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
if not more. Put it 50, I bet a rich person will buy it. Oh, that's nothing. That's cheap change, that.
And now you can get the Never a Straight Answer Deluxe Edition.
Yeah.
Available on Patreon.
Yes. In all
for
good,
a nominal fee.
Good internet stores.
Exactly. Yeah. So have you seen any news?
Wait
a minute. Just going back to this. Yeah. Right.
Go for it.
I don't play rock, paper, scissors.
Anymore.
I play rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Yeah.
So unless he's going to put a lizard and a little Leonard Nimoy in the box,
wow,
I'm not really interested. So
yeah, because I'd be a little toy of you'd get a bit of money for that.
a little Spock toy.
Yeah, especially if it's an old one. Yeah, get us a vintage one, and I'll buy it off you, mate.
Well, yeah, it's
$10.
deluxe, innit?
Yeah.
I want a vintage Spock toy.
Oh yeah,
And a real lizard.
yeah,
A jub.
a jub.
A jub. That's what
Gonna fit him in there.
Jub. Get in the box.
Get a big bleeding box.
Right, give us what have you got for me, bro? Story wise, tell me a story.
Shit that's been going on in Nottinghamshire.
Jack and Ori, go on.
Clubbers.
Clubbers.
12 women have been reported of being stuck with needles.
What?
Yeah.
Where's this in Nottingham?
Nottinghamshire. Yeah, the police have been looking for people.
Have they
for
got?
a while.
Have they caught him?
They've got 2 men under arrest, but they've been injecting people.
That's crazy shit.
And they're blacking out and being sick and not feeling.
So are they trying to mug them or date rape or what? What's the situation?
To be honest, because how long's it been going on? And is there any that don't remember?
I mean, well, when you first said that, then I thought, are they injecting them with, like, are they going around trying to vaccinate people, like, and that's why they're feeling sick because they've had the vaccination, like, or they might have even had it once and they're getting double jabbed.
Yeah, and it might be too early.
Who knows? That's crazy to think that people are doing that. I mean, like,
because the 2 lads
have a bit of
caught
sense,
with needles
guys.
and that, so it was like, oh, hold on. It could be you 2. So I believe they have been arrested, and the investigation.
Or it could
continues.
just be a couple of local spackheads.
It could be a gang of them, for all we know.
Fucking crazy.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, it got that bad that they was doing ladies' nights.
Really?
No men, just ladies go out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's speculation to how, like, this whole Wuhan thing happened, and whether it was a leak or whatever. But in this day and age, it kind of makes you fucking freak out whether, like, people, it's like in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
Do you know where he's like literally goes at the airport? Oh, have a whiff of this. It's odorless. When he's just released this fucking virus out.
Yeah.
And puts the lid back on, knows that he's gonna fucking snuff it anyway. He's just letting it out, you know. So how do we know that it's nothing a bit more fucking sinister?
Oh, well, yeah, because I remember when I lived down London that there was a club I used to go to, and there was a guy who went in there and actually looked at the girl in her face and plunged a needle into her.
Wow, that's grim.
Walked out, and then she had tests after test after test, and she found out she was HIV, passed HIV on, and it was like, oh my days, it was a massive scandal at the time.
That's pretty hardcore, that.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah. Well,
don't be giving anyone any ideas. Anyway.
No.
I've got this story about a volleyball coach. He was a drug offender. Basically, it's a bit of a combo, that, isn't it? It's like, I do enjoy a bit of meth, but, you know, I love a bit of volleyball.
Well, yeah. Well,
you
got to get your exercise, haven't you?
Do you know what? Volleyball's awesome when you're high on meth. Do you know? So this volleyball coach, he's been jailed for drug offences after a delivery man sent his meth to the wrong flat.
Oh, no.
It's like, your meth's it. It's like, I don't order any meth.
No, man.
It's got Jim's name on it next door.
Oh.
So, he was a Singapore volleyball coach. Well, obviously he was not called Jim.
Yeah.
Was nabbed for drug offences after a delivery man mistakenly delivered a package of methamphetamines to the wrong flat. He was sentenced to 2 years in jail. Marvin Chow Han, 37, pleaded guilty on 2 charges of drug consumption and 1 count of possession of meth. With another 2 charges taken into consideration as well. So it goes to show you, ordering online can be very fucking hazardous.
Well, or even your friends taking.
You can't rely on UPS.
No.
Do you know, the Royal Mail.
Got to deal with your normal runners.
It's like, I ordered a load of fucking crack online. It's just not turned up. It's like on next door.
I don't know what's going on. Was you hear about that junior football coach who went over to Abu Dhabi? I think it was.
No.
And the end, he was teaching over there, and his mate come over and brought 4 vials of CBD from Britain.
Okay.
So
which is illegal here.
Yeah, which is legal. Yeah.
CBD is legal.
Yeah. So he's left them in the car. He's got 25 years.
Really?
25 years, mate.
Because it's illegal in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, because it's got a higher THC in
content
there.
than they're allowing. Oh my days.
Yeah.
This is the thing, isn't it? I mean, over the years, how many people have been kind of jailed for long periods of time for bringing drugs in countries.
Well, look what's happened to the Philippines. Now you're getting shot. You don't matter. You're dead in the street and dragged along.
Drug user.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck me.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, I mean, what's happening? 25 years, is he any appeal?
Well, he signed the statement basically, but he didn't know what he was signing. Yeah, so there's a lot of diplomatic discussions.
Don't sign anything until you know what it says.
Yeah, but
it's like, just sign it to get me out.
Yeah, but
what if you were getting 25 years, son?
Whipped under your feet, or there was actually beasting you to sign it? Because if you don't sign it, right? Well, I'm gonna make you sign it.
Yeah,
I've caught you.
CBD. I mean,
well,
it's
yeah,
like one of them, isn't it? It's like,
it's not right. It's like bringing
paracetamol.
Yeah, and 25 years is just phenomenal. But it's one of them cultures where you don't take drugs there because But he didn't realise, and it was his mate who brought it along.
Well, let's be glad he didn't bring anything else.
Well,
do you know what I mean? Like, he could have been a hell of a lot worse.
That's
I mean,
true.
a bit of CBD. He's probably thought, we'll take that. Because I can't get a bud over there.
And it was for the smoking.
It'll take the edge off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not like he was taking a bit on the tongue and had it in his system all day. He was, it's for one of these smoking
his
ones.
vapor things.
Yeah.
So, how crazy.
It is. It's mad world.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a THC, if it was quite a higher content. It could have been a THC
but
oil.
even no, there's no way he deserves 25 years.
No, not for that. No,
Bring him back over here, we'll charge him and do him for 2 months or something.
Talking about unjust.
Yeah.
So this is a museum that had to start an OnlyFans account
All right.
After TikTok banned it for posting nudes. So, you can imagine that this is a museum who are posting tasteful arty nudes. Yeah, right, of exhibits.
Statue of David.
David,
that's
Damien. He's in the son of the devil.
That's a fella.
They post stuff of like, nudes because like that's art.
Pictures, yeah.
And there'll be statues, like you say, of David and like
Goliath
paintings of depicting the human form,
the religious part as well.
If they're trying to advertise their museum to try and get people to come down and check out the exhibits, then they're going to be posting photos of the slipping a nip. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
but so they've basically ended up getting banned from TikTok.
That's bullshit
because of the nudes.
That's and I hope
I think it must be algorithms really, because that picks up on things like that maybe thinks like, we've clocked that this might be a bit untasteful.
Yeah,
But it is because there's no human sort of like
interaction. It's almost actually understand.
It's almost being judged before proven guilty, isn't it?
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
Or proven guilty before trial, if you like.
Yeah.
And so where else could they post nudes but OnlyFans? So they've set up their OnlyFans page.
All right. See?
How
long till they get shut down? Or are they watching how many nudes they put up this time?
Well, it's the Vienna Tourist Board told Motherboard that... Motherboard, I think that's kind of a publication, that the museum launched its interactive city museum.
All right.
Had a social media account suspended for uploading nude artwork in July on TikTok, and they've basically banned posting photographs.
Yeah, but can you see it in the way of a lot of kids use TikTok?
Totally, but I mean, I understand, because obviously if it's a painting or a statue, but art is photography as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of kind of companies that don't really do nude photography, or they don't see it as a kind of a real expression, or it's
they're
a bit seedy.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, maybe there's some people who kind of like focus on that, and that's.
But a lot of it's done tastefully.
Some of it is. Yeah, a lot of it is, and a lot of it's not.
Yeah.
Right. Some of it can look a bit kind of gratuitous, or just a bit kind of like a woman draped over a Ferrari. It's not artistic, is it?
Well, I don't know.
It has its place in some publications,
it
but
does.
It's not what you'd consider an
art piece that you put on the wall.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know, the woman with the tennis tennis racket.
Teenage bedroom, maybe, but it's like it's not like museum standard. But there's nude photography that is,
that's true.
And it all depends on
how you put the content.
Well, how it's put forward, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But if you've got kind of like it's just gratuitous, or marketing ploy or something like that, then it's just is what it is. Honest, you know what I mean?
If they're going to ban it off that, then they should ban it off the all the nets.
Well, no, because I'm on Ultimate. Is it Ultimate Guitar? Right, as an app, and it's got that shots thing. Like Facebook and all the rest of it. You can record a little video, and you can show your guitar skills off to the other guitarists in the community and all the rest of it. And I've recorded one once or twice really, and I've got these kind of these paintings in the living room, which. Come with a house, and they're kind of like scantily clad ladies.
What? They're in a bikini. They're in bikinis. They're all looking sexy.
But they've refused.
They banned you over that.
They didn't ban me, but they said that they wouldn't publish the video because it went against their community guidelines. Yeah,
all right. Okay.
And the only thing I could possibly think could be is that these paintings on the wall in the background had been flagged up by their algorithms.
Yeah.
And it only gives you another option then, delete the video.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you can't argue with it. You just got to,
it's like
I don't know if it is just algorithms, but the TikTok have obviously kind of picked up on the nudity, and said that it was naughty. But I mean, is it?
Are they stop? Well, they might be stopping
in the same
it in
way
everything.
that museums can kind of show that. What's the difference that a social media platform can't? Do you know what I mean? That can't show a piece of art.
I think they might be banning
have a
all
bit of
nudity. I think that's possibly what they're doing is banning it all. So it doesn't matter if it's like tasteful, ugly, or however it comes. You show a nip, we're taking you off.
Slip of the nip.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of OnlyFans, quickly, there was another story here where an OnlyFans performer, if you like to call her a performer, has been accused of stabbing a boyfriend. Posted a video from inside NYPD station after the arrest.
Oh, man.
Going, man.
First interview.
So she's an OnlyFans performer who was arrested and accused of stabbing her boyfriend. The police arrested her on Monday evening and went to her apartment. Obviously, she's 22, who she basically has about 183,000 likes on her OnlyFans page.
Oh.
So I don't know. Did she do it? Was it a publicity stunt?
Probably
I don't know.
was.
But we'll see what
Getting
happens
more
with
and
her.
more
She might have to. I take it she's been let out if she was posting stories.
Yeah, it might be a phone call.
My only phone call. Can I have my phone call?
Yeah.
And it's like posting a video going,
look what happened to me
I've
today.
Been wrongly accused.
Yeah.
I'll be doing
As I've
some
got
new
blood
jail
splashing
scenes
down my
later with
side.
my cellmate. Stay
Holding
tuned.
a knife.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, NASA for me now, man.
All right, well, I've got a couple more stories.
Yeah,
have you seen this story about a poacher in South Africa?
No.
Got his comeuppance when he was trampled to death by an elephant.
Deservedly so.
Trying to poach elephants out in South Africa, and apparently this elephant struck back. Spokesman said from Kruger National Park that a mangled body was discovered on Thursday during an incident. Basically, before any animals were harmed, an elephant stomped one of the poachers to death.
Good.
And
elephants coming back
whilst others fled.
They
were out there trying to poach like wildlife. So I mean, it's sad to hear that a guy died, but I mean, to be honest,
he got
when
caught
they're out
man.
there fucking trying to kill beautiful animals like elephants.
Exactly, and you know what? It was only a couple of years ago where the studies come up that we have 7 years left of elephants before they're all
there's
gone.
a lot of animals like that though, so you've got to fucking look after them. Another story actually, I found that in terms of for elephants, elephants have actually evolved now. The scientists are saying to be tuskless because ivory poaching. So it's like, fuck you, man. I'm not growing tusks. You're just going to cut them off.
Yeah, but it's a shame of the beauty of it and the reason why they're there in the first place, which is protection and to use it as a work tool.
Yeah, true.
So it's now because of poachers that they're genetically changing, which is pretty fast actually. Considering
it is, isn't it?
It is very fast. That they're changing into they're going to have to learn new abilities now.
Well, think about us. I mean, like
your thumbs off. How you gonna,
Is there certain things about us that, in terms of that, we kind of don't need anymore that we would phase out?
I think there's a lot of things
wisdom
we
teeth.
don't.
We might end up.
Oh, you mean on the body?
Yeah. I mean, like we might kind of like get to a point not so long down the line where
tonsils.
Your tonsils. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Appendix.
Your appendix.
Yeah.
Your wisdom teeth.
All
things that you don't really need. Do you know that we have removed? Do you know on a
can you call
quite
hair?
regular basis?
What about hair on your body?
Well, hair
has
has receded, really, hasn't it? I mean, in terms of like if we were to believe that we were, cave dwellers, we're depicted as quite, hairy. If we were supposed to be monkeys, at one point, humanity, then
I don't believe that.
We've lost all that body hair. I think we do still have guys who are super hairy guys. There's still kind of some proper
hairy beasts.
I just think it's down to your genetics. Really,
down your bloodline and all that. Yeah. Totally.
So,
Right.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, but unless you get Manscaped.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
last story before
boys.
we move into NASA news.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
We were talking about this in before in Poltergeists when we were talking about Poltergeist stuff about houses.
Yeah, that's right.
And about this guy's house, he's put it up for tours. You can come and do ghost huntings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Get rich quick.
when houses that appear in films like the Amityville house or what's the other one, the Bates Motel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These iconic properties that they are real buildings of filming locations, but the places that you can visit.
Yeah.
When they go up for sale, they do tend to fetch quite a lot of money. Not even because of the house is worth that much. It's because it's got
The fame.
that fame.
Yeah. It's got the class behind it.
The house from Nightmare on Elm Street has just been listed for sale.
Go on.
Have a guess.
Let's go. 3 million.
Very close. 3.5 million.
Ah, nice.
But
That's a
would
nice
you
bit of
sleep?
cheddar.
Would you sleep
Shing.
well?
Would you sleep well? Oh, I don't know.
It's quite a nice house, actually.
With that money, yeah, I think I'd sleep very well, actually.
So it's a Los Angeles home, and obviously it was featured in the 1984 movie Nightmare on Elm Street.
It was.
It's been listed for sale. Just in time for Halloween.
Yes.
With an asking price of $3.5 million. The 3-bedroom surplus square
Three
house.
bedrooms.
What?
3 bedrooms, is that it?
Sorry, is it Spalding Square House? I think it says.
Spalding Square.
Yeah. It's basically up for sale. It previously sold for 2.1 back in 2013.
So it's gone up in value.
It's gone up by
Very
$1
nice.
million plus.
Very nice. And
Not
next
bad.
door is $2,000.
Yeah, probably. It's not
200
famous
grand.
enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Well, it would be
obviously,
in the
the
movies, I'd
iconic
imagine.
Serial killer Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, because didn't he have neighbours? He had neighbours that fell asleep, so they must be earning a little bit of cheddar. Well, I was in the movie,
Depends
second
though,
one and the
because
fourth.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily just because it's depicted as a next door house that the next door's house
Got a
might
little
not
value,
have looked as good.
If you
on
were selling
camera.
it, you would turn around and go, well, it's
No, but
been in the movies.
Well, no, well, that's what I'm saying. It might not have been, right, because you might have the Freddy Krueger house, the one that's up for sale now, was not next door to the house that was depicted on screen as next door.
Well, there always is always
They'll
that.
go, oh, it's next door, but it's 5 blocks down, and it's just clever editing that makes it look like he's walked across the
editing, man. Get rid of the
what I'm
truth,
saying.
don't they?
It's like if you think about a lot of film locations, they use a lot of kind of same locations but just different angles, or the same road, from different angles, and it's like kind of just clever camera trickery a lot of the time.
That's true. That's true.
In fact, do you know the square in Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Hilldale. Where
Right.
the clock tower is and all the rest of it. Yeah. That's the back lot at Universal, and it's been used for loads of things. I mean, it's been in so many films.
Yeah.
And it's almost recognisable as the back lot.
Yeah, definitely. You can't miss it, man.
But I think Back to the Future take it as the the most iconic. The use of it, if you like.
Yeah.
But
I could go with that.
But when you see it on film, it's like it's the the location, but it doesn't take anything away from it. Do you know what I mean? But it's still like a location. It's like it's all cleverly edited to make it look like a bigger town than it is, or something. Yeah. So I mean, like you say, you could turn up to buy the Freddy Krueger house, and next door you say, "Oh, well, it's definitely worth a few quid because it's like feared in the film."
Yeah,
might
this
not
makes
have been
£500. You know
might
what
not
I mean?
have been though. Do you know what I mean?
Come on, we'll make the deal right now. Cash it out.
Anyway, come on, a few quid.
Yeah, just a few more quid.
Well, we've got just a tenner.
I'm worth it.
So we've got some NASA news. New count to come in. Basically, a new report that talks about the new hotspot for UFOs
Ah, right, okay.
So this year's
Yeah.
basically league table, if
Who
you like.
comes number one?
Number one is Las Vegas.
Oh,
Standard pretty much, because they basically have quite a lot.
Yeah, drugs are getting better and better.
There's been 90,000 UFO sightings in Las Vegas since 1974.
Boy.
So
Boy.
nearly 95% of those have been said to be easily explained as weather balloons, military tests, or other activity, that's known about.
There. Yeah.
But a number of UFO sightings have not been kind of identified, and MSN have done a poll saying in 2020 alone there was 7,267 sightings.
Whoa.
And that's up from the 6,281 sightings back in 2019.
Getting closer, they're gonna land, I'm telling you.
Obviously, it seems like they do go up, right? And that's normally the sightings happen most nights between midnight and 4 a.m. or 4 p.m.
But do you think that's because more people have been indoors and looking up because there's
nothing
else to do?
Probably.
So I'm like, oh, look.
We said that, didn't
wasn't
we?
it?
I mean, there's a lot of people just sat in the garden, and the fact that there was during lockdowns, especially when there's no planes in the sky, the skies are clearer. You can see an oddity, and you can't mistake it for a plane because there's no planes.
Well, yeah, funny enough, there was a guy who used to go on the beach in Florida, and he'd pop his camera in the sky and just he'd be there all day. And the amount of unidentified objects that went past was, like, surprising.
Yeah, totally.
Literally surprising. It was like, oh, my days.
You know, Sean Ryder, he says he sees loads of them. He says they follow him.
Well, he's a star, isn't he? So, you know what I mean?
Say they follow him around, to be honest. So,
wow.
Myrtle Beach in South Carolina,
Yeah.
came a second place, a close second.
I would have gone Gulf Breeze myself.
For UFO sightings.
Yeah. Because Gulf Breeze was a really, really good place, especially in the 90s, because, like, it would, every night you could guarantee a UFO there, and it would actually drop stuff down and it'd go back up and stuff like that. It's weird.
Funny this, isn't it? Because Myrtle Beach, South Carolina came in second place, but it was followed by North Myrtle Beach in South Carolina that came in third.
Right, so there's...
So two ends of the beach. It's like, are they counted as two separate places? It's like, nope, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and North Myrtle Beach, totally different places.
I think you'd have to count them together if they're right next to each other. But then again, it depends how big the part of the country is.
Well, it has 1,111 sightings per 100,000 residents.
Nice.
So quite a lot.
Nice.
NASA News has been busy this week because Lucy is in the sky with diamonds and heading for Jupiter in the orbit bustering mission it's on, isn't it? It's looking for it's going to Jupiter because there's a lot of asteroids hanging around, and Lucy's job is to basically nudge one out the way. Yeah, just to see if they can.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Using basically, it's a test drone to go up and see if it could help protect us if we ever
needed it.
Yeah, the asteroid coming towards us.
Well, unfortunately, Lucy's having a bit of issues.
Oh no!
Right, because it's hit a bit of a snag, and whilst deploying its solar panels, the spacecraft was unable to deploy one of them and open it fully, which could eventually put Lucy in trouble.
Yeah, loses energy.
It's not like they can go over and just give it a tug. They've got to use what instruments they've got at the disposal. So who knows whether Lucy's going to get fixed, or that NASA's going to be able to work on fixing the issue, but they are currently.
It's an expensive machine, man.
So it's unable to deploy one of its solar arrays.
That's gonna knock calculations off.
Plus, I mean, if there is kind of like if that kind of affects the trajectory of it, and all the rest of it,
yeah,
could be major problems. It could drift off
could
into
knock it
totally,
out for like thousands of years. Miles,
totally different direction.
Yeah. But then again, you got to think of it this way as well. As long as we've got connection to it, it might find something that we haven't even observed yet.
Yeah, it
You know
just
what I mean?
by accident.
Yeah, because
Usually do, don't they?
Yeah. So hopefully NASA know what they're doing, and they generally it's generally easy to fix this kind of stuff, and hopefully they get it fixed and sort out, and hopefully we've got some protection of any meteorite strikes. Hopefully.
Yeah. Cool. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So, anything you've seen in NASA?
I have.
NASA
Talking
news?
of Jupiter, Jupiter's just been hit by a massive rock.
Do you know what? It'd be mad if you just, we were all observing this massive rock going, right, it's going to hit Jupiter, we'll be able to observe it, and then all of a sudden, like, a little rocket came out of Jupiter and blew it up.
Yeah, or
We'd be like,
spaceships.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right there, fellas. You've been hiding, have you?
Yeah, you've been hiding behind that dust cloud.
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah.
We saw you blow up the asteroid, you little aliens.
Yeah.
You little scamps.
They are. But you
But
can
no,
see
it
on the internet.
hit, didn't it? So more likely they're
Yeah.
all running around going, it's the apocalypse, it's
Yeah,
a world
it
ender.
started already. What's going on here? But then again, if you can survive the big red spot, okay, now then.
I
you
know,
can
yeah, we
survive
just stay
anything.
away from that storm, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. But it was
So
a good
it's-
flash, a good big flash. The last time we saw one of them was 1994, I believe, and we had, I think, 7 strikes.
So has it got another
7
big
small
spot
strikes.
in it now?
Nah, it just flashed, and then it might have a little.
When you said
bit
that?
of bit of a dust cloud or something there.
It
but
reminded
apart
me
from
of
that-
when they nuked the moon. And they said, well, you'll see a big impact. But then they said, but then nothing happened.
Supersonic nuke. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're
I would have
talking about
expected
that, aren't they?
ding dong.
Wanting to test nukes in space.
Yeah, well, they do. These are going to be the things that are probably happening right now, and we don't realise what's going on.
Well, no, they are. They're saying that they want to use nuclear rockets to to beat China in the space race because they're going to be using them.
Yeah. I think China's more likely to use fusion power because they're looking at that like we are, and they're stronger at the minute and they're moving fast.
Cool. Well, NASA, they're looking into the future with their missions. They're targeting February for a launch of their first moon rocket since Apollo missions.
Yeah.
NASA are saying February 2022 for the launch of the Powerful Space Launch System, SLS rocket. Basically, they're going to be off to the moon with that one.
Beautiful. We always like going back to the moon.
Love a bit of moon action.
Saying hello.
So, go for it.
China has announced that they have a rocket ready to stand by in case something goes wrong in their new space station. How many days do you reckon they or hours that they give?
Well, if it's standing by, I'd say pretty rapid. I mean, especially if there's an emergency on the space station, you don't need like a load of bureaucratic red tape holding you back.
Definitely not.
You want to get your astronaut in the capsule and get it blasted off for urgent support.
Totally.
Like fucking Thunderbird one. Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil.
From fucking one of those shows.
Yeah, I think it was
Stingray.
Was it Stingray?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
I can't
way
remember. It's
before
been a
my
long
time. It was before my
Your
time. It was.
Was it?
Yeah, I wasn't born in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, there you go.
Late 70s. Or should I say mid?
I just know of these things, but if at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want them blasting off to go and save the day, don't you?
Well, they need notification of, wait for this, 8.5 days.
Well, by that point, the space station's burned
It's
down.
already
the guy's been
Earth.
eaten by aliens and it's plummeted to the sea.
Yeah, what an emergency craft. Yeah,
it's
really
fucking
great.
efficiency
I can't
for
understand
you, isn't it?
But then again, the fueling shouldn't take that long. It could take, what? Like, even if we give it 24 hours to fuel it, bang. While you're fueling it, you're getting ready, you're setting up, right, get the stuff all checked and that, boom, it goes up.
That's why it should be already ready to go.
It's all ready to
That's
go.
what I'm saying. If it's on the tarmac,
Literally on the
it's like
tarmac,
how many
ready.
pre-flight checks do you need? It's like if there's an emergency, it's like the fire brigade. It's like you should have astronauts ready to slide down poles and get in the ship at a moment's
boost
notice.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how the Chinese one is working, but the ISS has a box off one that if there's something coming in, and possibly hit the ship and put holes in it, that they stay there and they stay.
Scan hole in it.
But it's also like it can be released and like sent back to Earth.
Oh, fair enough.
So it's like a safety thing.
Well, there you go.
You got out.
I've got one or two more stories. Well, this one, I don't know even how true this is yet, but apparently it was a Sunday sports story, which totally tells you how credible it is.
Hey, classy,
and I'm not even, you know what?
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
I'm not saying like the legitimacy of the actual story itself.
It's a good one, though.
It's the legitimacy of like the whole,
the whole
idea of it.
Yeah.
So, this is a crazy story. So this guy says that his wife was changed by aliens, changed his wife into a toffee crisp.
A toffee crisp? Well, it's a nice chocolate bar. You know what I mean?
Could be worse. A Nestle toffee crisp.
Could be a Sprout.
So Ray, who basically insinuates that there were no problems in his 20-year marriage.
Bullshit.
To Irene.
Right.
And says that he came home on a Thursday night to find that his wife was missing. Yeah. And a mysterious toffee crisp chocolate bar sitting on the kitchen floor.
A bit dodgy, that.
So, he says, he wasn't, like a bad husband or anything like that. No problems. He lived in a big house, £2 million house.
Nice.
5 bedrooms.
Right.
Yeah, he's 62 and he was a former, manager for a company. So he did all right, security company.
Yeah.
Right? It's in Brentwood, Essex. Yeah. So he says the weird thing is when he came home and he couldn't find his wife and he saw this toffee crisp on the floor, he thought, that's funny because I don't even like toffee crisps. And I know Irene doesn't like them. She can't fucking stand toffee crisps.
Oh, it's nice. I like them.
So why there's a toffee crisp on the floor and my wife's missing?
Because she hates your guts.
But he said that there was actually UFOs floating above his house, right?
UFOs or burgers?
The last few nights, right? They'd been seeing UFOs above his house, right?
Okay.
So then all of a sudden it dawned on him. Aliens had used a high-powered alien beam.
No, not an alien beam.
To turn his wife into a Nestle toffee crisp.
Oh, it could have been a Jaguar or something like that. Something useful.
Now, I'm not being funny, but am I the only person who thinks he might have just killed his wife?
I think the toffee crisp did.
It's one of them, innit? Have you done a DNA test on
It
the
is.
toffee crisp? Well, how does
Well,
an
he wants to
alien?
keep his house,
How
doesn't he?
does an alien know what a fucking toffee crisp is?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And did
It's
he
like
take
of
a
all
bite?
the things, there was just a matter transferer. It's like,
what did he do with that toffee crisp? Did he throw it in the bin, eat it, or
I'm
going to
go out on a limb, Ray, and say, yeah, your wife might not have liked toffee crisps.
No.
But her lover might have loved them.
Yeah.
And he thought, do you know what?
What these gardeners are like.
I'm going to come round, steal your wife, Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to steal your wife, and I know you hate toffee crisps.
So,
As an insult, I'm going to leave one on your kitchen floor.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
And
the
he's
floor, so you have to bend over and pick it up.
That'll confuse the back out of him because Irene hates them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, she's off spending your money in Paraguay.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like it's funny because my money in my bank account seems to be depleting.
Yeah. I don't know. What? My house has been sold?
It's
Who
crazy.
to?
to Nestle.
Yeah, they bought
So-
it last week.
Yeah. So then that's a bit of a. That is a. It's a story. Someone sent it me. I thought we've got to talk about it.
It's a crispy story.
I love a toffee crisp myself.
I do. I don't. I can't.
You can't
these days
argue
with
with a toffee crisp.
my teeth. No, I can't do these days.
Well, that's it. That's NASA news for this week.
Yeah.
Have you got any more now?
I've got one, but I think I might look in a bit more of it. Basically, what it is
Needs a bit of clarification.
Well, it's not a clarification. There seems to be. Could we be having a radio like we've got a wave around Earth?
Oh, you said we've got a hula hoop of energy around us, like a force.
What they're
Wasn't you
calling
saying
it-
that there was an invisible force that was, keeping us here?
It's
And I went, that's
called-
called gravity, son.
They've turned around and called it. It's a tunnel of rope-like film, like making radio waves.
Okay.
And it's they've worked out that it's 1,000 light years long, and it is about 350 light years away. and we seem to be in. It seems to be like a control thing of like holding us where we are and or something. Apparently it's a new obstacle that we need to look at. Because it basically connects to us.
You just kind of reminded me of that, like, what was it? Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's revolving.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't give you the measurements.
It does.
Of
17,000 miles an hour we're going round, and there's absolutely loads of numbers, because we're like a speeding bullet through the universe, apparently.
Yeah, of course we are. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is, and it's amazing how gravity, which is not a strong force, it's the weaker force, but it holds us all together. And it's like it's mad if you think about it in the fact that you just stood on a rock. That is all you done. You stood living on a rock, going 17,000 miles an hour with these other calculations.
Yeah, 40,000 miles an hour was on there. So I think it was orbiting at 19 miles per second.
Yeah.
So it's reckoned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Revolving at 9. Yeah. So you're standing on a planet that's revolving at 900 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I love a bit of Eric Idle. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the show.
Hammer.
I'm not going to start singing Monty Python songs at you. They've already done that once tonight. But we'll catch you next week. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yeah. And, always look on the bright side of life.
Oh, yes, always.
And we'll be aiming to get back with you next week.
We will.
For another episode. Thank you for sticking with us towards the end.
Yes.
To this point in the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you get this far, fucking well done.
Yeah. How are you doing it?
How do you do it? We'll be back, like I say. Well, if you've got any comments, queries or suggestions, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Hit us up at Twitter or Instagram.
Come on.
We're available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcast. Rather YouTube or iTunes or wherever. Spotify. Yeah. iHeartRadio. There's a lot of people listening on iHeartRadio. Hello, you iHeart people.
Hello, people.
We're available everywhere. You can also go to the website where there's plenty of stuff going on there.
Oh, always.
And I think that's it. That's it for the show this week.
I believe so.
So I will bid you farewell. Enjoy your week. And we'll catch you next time.
We will indeed.
I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace.
Ow.